Hello, my beautiful people. If this is your first time here, my name is Hannah, and today I will be trying to sort out my books and prepare myself for 2025. I think a lot of us readers, we get to the point when we end up buying books, and then the books that we have bought in the past are kind of turning into our TBR veterans. And I admit I have a few of those books on my shelves as well. And recently I come to a conclusion: the longer they stay on my bookshelves, the less likely I am to be picking them up. So what I want to do in 2025, I want to select those books from my bookshelves that don't speak to me, or books that I purchased even recently, but maybe books that don't have very good reviews, or I don't know, for many reasons, maybe I'm not reaching for them. So I want to select these books. I have prepared a trolley for my books. So I'm going to select those books from my shelves, put them on this trolley, and then hopefully prioritize them in 2025. The condition is these books will self-destruct by the end of 2025. Whatever books are still left on my trolley, these books are going to be sold, given away to friends or charity shops. We shall see. We can decide when we get there. But the aim is to try and read them. If I don't, then goodbye books. I'm going to bring my trolley here, and I'm going to start with this bookshelf here. Then we'll move on to my other two bookshelves. So I'm actually scared and feeling a little bit anxious right now, but I think I can do it. I can do it. Let's go. So first of all, here, the books that you can see in the top shelf of this trolley is my immediate TBR. These are the books that are kind of my limited options for December. So I will be reading from these books. And then here we have my first bookshelf, and I will be picking my books from here. Maybe let's start from the top. Let's see what we have in there. So the trolley is back in the same corner, back where we started, and I have selected a good amount of books, which I think will be good for my bookshelves. I've managed to create quite a lot of bookshelf space, so that's just, it's making me excited, because it just means I can buy more books that are on my wish list. So the first book that will self-destruct at the end of 2025 is The Mysterious Case of the Alperton Angels by Janice Hallett Hollett, and it is supposed to be a kind of like a follow-up on a quote. I actually don't really know a lot about this, but from what I'm seeing, it's a lot of kind of like interviews and transcripts and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how I would like this book. I don't, literally since I had this book, not once I felt like I want to read it. So off it goes on a self-destruct trolley. The next one is Maggie O'Farrell, The Marriage Portrait. Again, I think this is historical fiction, and when I got this book, I got it in a charity shop, and I kind of recognized the cover, I recognized the title, I picked it up, but honestly, I have not been enjoying historical fiction recently, and I have not been reaching for this book. Not even once I felt like I want to read it. I like the cover though, but apart from that, I'm not feeling positive about this book, so off it goes. The next book is Behind the Shoulder Pads by Joan Collins. This is a memoir. I think we all know Joan Collins. I remember her when I was little, and she was acting, and she was in Dynasty, and yeah, playing Alexis. And I think this is the only reason I picked this book up. Not once I wanted to read this book, so it can go on a self-destruct trolley. I had to change my position because my knees were suffering. So the next book is The Diary of a CEO by Stephen Barrett, and I picked it up when it first came out, and not once I wanted to read it. I think when I bought it, I was listening to his podcast and watching his YouTube channel, and it is interesting, but it kind of got old to me at some point, and I've lost interest in the podcast, and I've lost interest in a book, so it might as well go on a self-destruct trolley. The next book I have is an actual Illumicrate book, and it is Goddess of the River. I think that was one of the very first boxes I have received, and at that point when I was subscribing to Illumicrate, I wasn't skipping anything because I was excited about all the beautiful editions of the books and everything, and in hindsight I should have skipped it because this book really does not interest me one bit. And yeah, so off on a trolley. And then we have the famous or infamous Haunting Adeline. From what I understand, this is a dark romance, and I'm not really a fan of dark romance. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I think this book is about. I don't really like smut, and I have a feeling there will be a lot of smut in this book, so on the trolley. The last hardback that's making its way on the self-destruct trolley is the short story collection, The Haunting Season. I picked it up in a charity shop as well, and I don't know, I have this year, I think I've read a couple of short story collections, and I am not a fan. Some of the short stories, especially when it's horror stories, are good, but I feel like I need a proper novel to be properly scared and properly creeped out. I don't know how else to explain it. I like when the suspense and the thrill, when it builds up, and you know, the tension and everything, and I feel it's a little bit lacking in short stories. You only have so much you only get so much you could do to create that atmosphere. So off it goes on a trolley. And then we have 3 books that have been on my TBR for absolute donkey's years. I actually can't remember when I bought them. That's how long ago it was. It must be maybe even 5-6 years ago, and yeah, not interested. So they're gonna go on a trolley as well, and the first one is The Second Sister by Claire Kendall. Yeah, The Second Sister by Claire Kendall, and I think it's a thriller, but yeah, I don't know what about. Then the next one I have Gordon Rees, Mice, and it's again a thriller, maybe young adult, not really sure, not really interested. So, and the last but not least, I have Laura Purcell, Bone China. I think I added this book maybe 4-5 years ago, when the Corset first came out. I've listened to the Corset as an audiobook, and then I bought this one because it's the same author, and I thought I would like it. But like I said, the Corset was more of a historical fiction, historical thriller, I want to say. It's a historical theme, and since then, and I think this one is the same, historical, And yeah, I'm not that much into historical stuff anymore. So on the trolley, the next book that I have is Andromeda Strain. And I bought this book on Vinted, I think in May or June, something like this. And the idea of the book sounded interesting to me. It's a sci-fi, I can't remember what about now, but it's a sci-fi or sci-fi horror. But what scares me is this book is the size of it. This is one of those old editions, like back in the, I don't know, whatever, 80s, 90s. They had those small books, kind of like a pocket edition. The fact that it's so small, pocket size, the font is also really tight and really small. And there you go. And this is the reason why I am not reaching for this book. I found that I don't really enjoy small font anymore and tight as it is, because my eyes are straining a bit more reading small font and it just feels tedious to me. So, and the next book, and I'm hoping people are not going to hate me when I do this, it's not really a self-destruct, but it's more of a motivate me to read this, because this is a first book. This is a book one in a series, and it's been on my shelf for a while and I haven't been reaching for it. I bought this as a part of a bundle on Vinted as well, but I'm not inclined to start reading it because I don't want to get myself into another series, and also series that maybe I will not enjoy. And this is the reason I'm going to put it on the self-destruct trolley. If I read it, fair enough. If I don't read it, then it saves me reading the series. Okay, this is how I look at it. And the book I'm talking about is V.E. Schwab, Darker Shade of Magic. And I heard this is a really good book people love. I actually really like V.E. Schwab's writing. One of my favorite books of this year was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And, you know, I kind of want to read this as well, but I'm not being motivated to reach for this. So I'm hoping that if it's on a self-destruct trolley, I will be more inclined to go for this book. The next book I have here as well that's going to go on that trolley is Loved by Many, Happy Place by Emily Henry. I have never read Emily Henry. I picked this book up because a lot of people read and loved her, and I got tempted by the beautiful colors of the cover, because I'm like that, okay? I buy books because I like the cover. But it's been sitting on my shelf for the longest time ever, and not once I wanted to read it. And I think this is one of those holiday romances. This is why I kind of picked it up, because I had in my head that it's going to be a holiday romance and I'm going to read this in the summer, but I never have, and not once I've been tempted to actually pick this book up. So it can go on a trolley. And then the next set of books is actually a trilogy which I picked up when I was reading a little bit more romance. Last year I was quite into romance and I was enjoying Laura Nash's Dreamland Billionaires trilogy, and then I read a few romances and I really enjoyed them, and I started buying romance books like they were going out of fashion. Do you think I've read any of them? No. So I am hoping to motivate myself with, especially with that romance, because I want to know, am I a romance person or am I not a romance person? So the three books that are gonna go on my trolley is this, the Knock Them Out trilogy, and we have Lucy Scott, and we have Things We Never Got Over, Things We Left Behind, and Things We Hide from the Light. All three books are gonna go on my trolley, and like I say, hopefully I will be a bit more motivated to read them, because if I don't, then I literally just spent whatever 20 quid and I'm going to give them away. No. So as a motivation, they go on my trolley. The next series that is going to go on my trolley as well is a very kind of like a Marmite series, because some people love it and some people absolutely hate it and slate it. And that series was purchased by me at the same time as Lucy Score books. So yeah, I am actually not sure about these books, so they're gonna go on my trolley as well. And I'm talking about this series, Elsie Silver, and I think it's Chestnut Spring series. So I've got 5 books. I think it's a full series. I don't even know, but I have 5 books here, and they're gonna go on a trolley and hopefully either be read or self-destruct. I'm hoping if I don't like book 1, I will be able to unhaul the whole series. I've got another 4 books, and this is the last lot of the books I have selected, and these books are from one author, and I am talking about Mia Sheridan. And I have 4 books here. I have Becoming Calder, Finding Eden, Grayson's Vow, and Travis. All these books are gonna go on my trolley as well. I think last year I have read Archer's Voice, because Archer's Voice was one of those books that became a TikTok sensation, and people were saying how they were crying and yada, all that stuff. And I kind of got tempted and I've read it. I think I've read it on my Kindle, and I actually kind of like half enjoyed, but yes, since then, romance is not something that I was reaching for. I was reaching more for horror, fantasy, even romantasy, but romance specifically, that kind of stuff, no. So I think I am very happy to put these books on my self-destroy trolley, make some space on my shelf, and then hopefully get motivated to read them or unhaul them at the end of the year. Okay, I actually feel so good now since I've done that. I have both shelves on my trolley filled with the books that are going to self-destruct. I actually have 25 books. How cool is that? So this literally can be 25 books in 2025, and also combine it with self-destruct. So see, that's even better, because that's even more motivation for me. This can be like a challenge for me. 25 books I want to read in 2025, plus if I don't read them, they'll self-destruct. So double motivation. I love that. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you did, and let me know in the comments, are you doing any challenges in the next year? Are you picking up 25 books that you want to read in 2025, or maybe you have a self-destruct trolley? Let me know. And if you don't, but you still want to comment and let me know that you were here, why don't you leave me anything book related, like a book emoji or stack of books emoji, anything like that. For now, I thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see you in my next one.